Welcome to Hit the Road with Mo and Joy. We're friends that met in kindergarten and we love to travel. Now we're sharing our experiences and inspiring you to explore. Whether you're traveling by sea, in a train, flying high, or road tripping, it's time to hit the road with Mo and Joy. Hello and welcome to Hit the Road with Mo and Joy. This is Joy.
This is Mo.
Hi Mo, how's it going?
Well, here we are. Gosh, already the end of the calendar year.
Yes it is.
Right? So we're on more than halfway done with this podcast and we're wrapping up our other one. It's been a very interesting year.
In more ways than one.
Isn't that the truth?
Well, we're still in Ireland for this podcast. We're going to talk about Ireland's day 5 and 6, right?
Yeah, days 5 and 6, which happens to be our 4th Ireland episode in this series.
Yes, but at the same time, this is actually episode number
8.
8. I was going to get there, but
I beat you to it.
Okay.
Beat you to it.
Episode 8. All right. So go ahead and kick us off. Where were we on this day?
We were having our last night in Londonderry. So that would have been night 4 leading into day 5. And we were staying at a local Airbnb. Actually, it wasn't an Airbnb. That's not correct. It was actually a bed and breakfast.
Yes.
Like the more traditional. And it was quite traditional where we stayed. I had some notes here that we had a traditional breakfast at that B&B and that the OJ was not like ours at all.
Right.
So clearly that stood out to me and I had to think about it. But yes, there are definitely certain differences in the menu and the foods. But after that, we packed up and it was time to do our exploring in Londonderry.
Mm-hmm.
Let's talk a second about Londonderry. It is Northern Ireland's second largest city. It also goes by the more quote-unquote popular name of Derry. The old city is partially walled. Actually, it's the only remaining city in Ireland with completely intact city walls. Super, super old, Joy. They were built between 1613 and 1619.
Yes, and they were really cool looking, and you could see the age on them, and it was interesting. One of the things that I don't like doing, especially when boys are around, is going to forts. I feel like I have to go to every fort that there is. But this was a different experience because it was, like you say, the walled cities. Mm-hmm. And just architecturally, it was cool to see it. But then the patina and the age, like I say, on it, just made for some really cool pictures.
I think that's a perfect way to describe it. That's not what immediately came to me, but as soon as you said that, I immediately had the visual, and you're right. You can literally sense the age.
Yep.
I would say the other thing that I noticed is the city had a couple of murals. One in particular that I grabbed from our set, and they'll go out on the blog. Mm-hmm. Again, with the reference to peace. So,
yes,
just the reminders, kind of like what we were talking about when we had the episode on Belfast.
Right. So we're still in Northern Ireland at this point, right?
Correct.
Okay.
Correct. Yeah.
I was going to say it with confidence, but then I was like, oh, I'm not positive.
Don't doubt yourself. So I would say once we drove into the city and got our parking taken care of, the first place we went was the Guildhall. And I remember us walking up to it. I took so many pictures inside and out. But the Guildhall, to me, like, I just loved everything about it. It had all the history. It was built in 1887. It was influenced by the neo-Gothic style, has a clock tower modeled after London's Big Ben. And not only that, but like the original building, and then there was a fire, and the Irish Society, which, yes, it actually is called that, and it was hard for me to type and now say it out loud. But
Awkward.
I know, that is actually what it's called. They actually had to replace the original earlier town hall that was destroyed by fire in 1908. So some of the things that we got to enjoy that felt super, super historical were actually replaced, but it was just so beautiful.
Yeah, and you didn't mention the stained glass. It was so beautiful.
Yes.
And then also they had an old pipe organ that went from floor to ceiling.
Yes.
And just looking at that, we didn't get to actually hear the music, to my
There was no music that we got to hear.
But just seeing, again, the architecture and the beautiful design of that in the hall, and just imagining what that would sound like reverberating, and it was just really cool looking.
So let's throw out a couple of little facts. The organ was designed by Sir Walter Parrott. It was installed in 1914. It has 3,132 pipes, which feels ginormous, but I have no reference to compare that to. And it is the second largest organ in Northern Ireland.
Yeah, and you've got a great picture of it that just illuminates its magnitude.
For sure. I think I vaguely remember, Joy, I don't know if you can fact check me, but it feels like when we actually left, we were in the hall for quite a while. You do not have to pay for a guided tour. We just went in and did our own thing. So this is a freebie experience for budget purposes, right? I feel like when we left, towards the side where you start to kind of go into the town, there's some shopping, and I think that there was like kind of a fountain type deal right beside the building. And
yeah. There was like a little park area and a little fountain.
Some kids running around, some locals.
Some people watching.
Yeah, we did some people watching, and I feel like this was the town where it was like one of two times where we struggled to find the post office.
Yes.
And after a couple of different locals, and I'm
right.
You can't see my arm, but I'm pointing like over there.
Yeah.
But around the corner isn't exactly what I would describe as around the corner. But we did have success.
Finally, yes.
Yes, we did, because we actually bought postcards from the Guildhall. Mm-hmm. And so we wanted to grab some stamps.
Yep.
We enjoyed the town. We experienced our only rain shower, which is what's really interesting while we're recording right now.
Yes, you might
all
hear
of
the
a sudden
pitter patter of rain.
Yeah, it just started raining, so perfect timing. I remember we ducked into a store. It was a really big store, and they had a lot of Londonderry specific gifts, but it wasn't long at all. So I guess I would say that, Joy, I was expecting while we were in Ireland to have quite a bit of rain.
Right, and they prepare you for that, and they tell you, oh, it's rainy all the time, and then you get there, and we had sunshine and rainbows. And
I feel like we were really lucky with the weather in particular. And again, we were there late July, coming back, I think like August 2nd or something like that. So we were very lucky on not getting pummeled with rain all the time. The other thing was, I had been prepared for cooler weather, and I kept being told, oh, it's so breezy on the coast, and It gets really, it goes from like 76 degrees and next minute it'll feel like it's 40. But I wound up a couple of my days, even though I had lighter weight clothes, I got hot.
Yep. It's all perspective though too. what they think is hot and cool and is not what we Florida girls agree with.
Absolutely.
And were they talking in Celsius, because that's their language over there, not Fahrenheit? It's a possibility.
I can't answer that question. I am just mainly referring to people that I knew that had been over there and had their experiences, and I never really got numbers. It was just more of, oh my gosh, it could go from like this degrees, and next thing you know, I'm freezing to death and wishing I had gloves. So in my mind, that's kind of what I had prepared for. But after the quick little rain burst, one of the things that stood out to me in Londonderry was that amazing little gelato shop that we found.
Oh, yes.
And I was so intrigued because I had never really come across a honeycomb gelato, or at least not that I could really remember.
Mm-hmm.
And so I wound up getting that. Of course, Mikey and I were in there scouting that out. And I think he actually went out on a limb and tried a crepe that had like some bananas and a little bit of Nutella or something in it. But we sat outside and wouldn't you know, Alex, who never meets a stranger, remember that table that had like the 4 older gentlemen, and they were probably out there for their daily or weekly round of chatting it up with their friends? And funny enough, the topic was American politics.
Right. And it was interesting hearing them and their take. And there was one that was a little conservative, and there was one that leaned a little Democratic. And yes. And Alex inserted himself right into the conversation and asked the questions, not in a obtrusive manner, but he wanted to understand why they believed what they believed.
Yeah, and they talked. It was a great conversation. It's very interesting, and I snuck a picture of them. So
yes,
being able to hang out with the locals and have these spontaneous things come up, just
the things that you don't, the things that you don't plan.
Yeah. So after that, we got to do the Peace Bridge, which was definitely on my list. What do you remember about that?
I remember it being a huge walkable bridge.
Right.
And it had great views of the city. Then on the other side of the Peace Bridge, there were a bunch of shops and restaurants and just cool things to look at. So I would definitely recommend walking over it.
Absolutely. From a fact perspective, it opened on June 25th, 2011. It connects Ebrington, and I might not be pronouncing that correctly, so bear with, square with the rest of the city center. The bridge itself spans 400 years of a physical and political divide in Northern Ireland, symbolizing a handshake of peace across the River Foyle. It's beautifully maintained. I remember submitting a couple pics to you for the blog, and I call it a window box, but obviously it's not a window box because it was on the railing of the bridge itself, but with all the beautiful flowers, and it's clean and well maintained. When we did walk over initially to the other side, I distinctly remember 3 things. One is this mural and it was ginormous on the wall. I think it was of a whale. And I got Mikey to stand next to it. It was just so beautifully done. And then there was a metal sculpture of a tree a little bit further in. And it was... the details of it, it was amazing. Like even down to little metal leaves on the limbs. Super cool. We wound up grabbing some lunch at a wonderful place called Stitch and Weave. I think you and I tried out the charcuterie board with the cheeses and the meats and the fruits. We also tried the sticky toffee pudding here.
Yes.
I do remember that. So Stitch and Weave was really, really good. I'd recommend.
Yeah. We have to get sticky toffee pudding at every stop and compare it.
Yep. So, that was really the last of Londonderry for us. We did have some excitement trying to exit the parking garage. And I think that we had walked up upon a little fender bender when we were trying to leave. I remember a poor crying girl and people being angry. And I also, actually, we didn't mention this initially, but we've talked before on this trip about being careful with parking and only using the designated parking because it's a major offense there. But I wound up coming across a picture of the three of you guys trying to figure out how to work the machine for us to have our legal parking spot in the parking garage. And it was time consuming and a little bit problematic.
I always fight those stupid machines.
But, these are little common things and they do happen on trips wherever you go. But just knowing that there might be some challenges and being prepared for that could be helpful.
We're going to your city. Just give us free parking already. That's how I feel about that.
Yes, well, it's not even like that here at home. So, town's got to make some dollars too. All right, so of course because you had already told me about it from your previous trip, I was looking to see the little miniature cows or where's the sheep at? Where are the sheep? Well, when we left Londonderry, we headed down to Enniskillen. And on that drive, we wound up coming across, we were on, I think, a pretty major roadway, and we were able to pull off, and there were just all of these sheep. And I was, of course, like a child. Oh, there's our sheep. And of course, I wanted to get out and I wanted to say hello to the sheep and I wanted to take pictures of the sheep. Yeah, they were beautiful. And I did get some amazing pictures. Of course, wanted to be respectful. It was some sort of farm or something. And, you don't want to bum rush the fence and you don't want to scare them because I've heard that they can be a little easily scared. But my goodness, I politely walked up to the fence and I'm like, oh, hi, sheep. And they literally, like 4 or 5 of them in unison. I'm thinking I'll get at least like a little baa or something. Oh, no. They literally stretched their bodies forward and projectile pooped.
Oh.
And then they promptly turned their backs to me.
How about that? Welcome to Ireland, Mo.
I was just like, well, rude. But regardless, I did get a couple pictures, several of them being their backsides, which were turned to me. But I think I did grab one of one looking at me like, why are you here? But anyway, I did get my sheep. That was not my only sheep experience, but it was my first sheep experience of Ireland. So, Enniskillen.
I want to talk about Enniskillen for a minute.
There's so much to say.
We didn't originally plan to stay in that city. I think we were looking at the Marble Cave, which we'll talk about in a little bit, right?
Yep.
So we were going to stay in Derry, I think. But then when we looked in Derry, we couldn't find accommodations or whatever, so we wound up staying in Enniskillen.
Correct.
And it wound up being fantastic and like one of my favorite stops.
I agree. I think it was one of everyone's favorite stops. It was the freaking jackpot.
Yeah.
I mean, the Airbnb was freaking amazing. The pubs, the things to do. Now, granted, if we would have stayed there 4 or 5 nights, would it have been not enough? I don't know.
Right.
But for us, with the 2 nights,
Right.
it was great. And we got to do some amazing things. But, oh my gosh, the house was definitely very cool. I can't say it was the roomiest house because one did beat it out, which was hilarious for our small little group. But this home was a 3-bedroom, 3-bath. So we actually all got to spread out and have our own spaces and not have to share. It was really great. We really loved the home. I feel like the drive from Londonderry to Enniskillen, we had a couple of moments. So just remember, some of those drives are nail biters, teeth grinders. There's a reason why I sat in the back seat. Literally, actually, I got banished, if the truth be told.
Because I
got banished to the back seat for the entirety of the trip. And actually, I was okay with that. So that first night, by pure accident, we wound up going to this amazing pub, right?
Yes, it was Granny Annie's.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just this once-in-a-lifetime type place that you don't know that you're looking for, but when you found it, you know you've got it. There was a band, and they had some drinks, but it was really awesomely decorated, and you could just probably stay in there for a couple of hours looking at all the cute little things that they had done to the place, right?
I mean, yeah, how do you even describe? I mean, stuff literally everywhere. It's like a cross between a thrift store, an actual grandma's house, antique shop,
Yes.
collector, quirky. Everywhere you went, there were colors, and
you just felt right at home the whole time.
it was like every table was different, whether it be a different material or a different whatever. Nothing matched, but that was part of it. And that first night we went, there was a guy, so we had live music, and of course, you know, we go in naively thinking, oh, we're gonna hear the Irish jigs and the whatevers, but it was like American country music.
Yes.
The majority of it. That was so funny. But the guy like rocked it out. There were people up there dancing. It was just, we wound up staying, I think, a couple of hours, even though we had had a full day and we were tired, but we literally had so much fun.
Mm-hmm. It was a great evening.
It really was just the best.
So definitely go to Granny Annie's.
For sure. You cannot miss Granny Annie's. And
so one thing that I remember about the Airbnb is we lost like the water heater. All the water was cold.
Oh, I don't remember.
I went to take a bath and everything was coming out cool, and we had to contact the Airbnb fella. Well,
maybe it didn't happen to me.
If you don't remember it, that's fine.
Well, did it get fixed?
It did get fixed, but once again, I was going to make a confession, but if you didn't know, then I won't make it. But at some point, I was trying to turn on the lights or try to turn on something, so I turned off all the plugs that were in a certain area, and I guess I had turned off the water heater too.
That does not ring a bell, but okay, so that's 2 offenses right now.
Right. So
now you've turned off the water heater, and then the other our first farmhouse, you blew whatever and turned off our Wi-Fi.
Yes. So this was just a suggestion. If you're in somebody else's house, don't touch anything, Joy. Stop touching the buttons.
Oh my goodness. Okay.
Yeah. Sorry about that.
Okay, well, I mean, it wasn't, obviously I wasn't impacted because I detest cold water. Mm-hmm. And I probably would have, you know, grumbled and whined and all of those things. So yeah, that took us through day 5. Day 6 of the trip, we wound up sleeping in at our great Airbnb, actually so much so that we almost missed our hand-picked breakfast that we were super excited about. Number one, it had the cutest name ever. I mean, the bee's knees. That's just the cutest. Fortunately for us, we literally were within minutes of missing the breakfast window, and the place was packed. But we were actually able to walk up. They had a walk-up window. So we got up there. She's like, hey, if you guys are dead set on your breakfast items, come around here to the walk-up window. We'll take your order and get them filled, but they have to be to go. And that is what we did. Joy, you got your normal latte. The rest of us got our chai. And then we each got a beautiful breakfast sandwich. And the breads were just so like puffy and good. So that was amazing. Do you remember Bee's Knees? How cute it was?
I do.
Okay, good. So after breakfast, we did a little bit more sightseeing in Enniskillen. Got a couple of great pictures. I remember they had this beautiful mural up on one of these ginormous walls. I'm not exactly sure how they got up there, but it was so pretty. It was just a beautiful town overall. So Joy, after we left the town, we went over to Marble Arch Caves.
Yes, I was really looking forward to this stop because I love caves. I love rocks.
All right.
And I love nature, of course. But I just love exploring and going in and seeing, especially when it's walkable, as walkable as it was. We did take a small boat ride from one area to another to be able to walk further. But they were very safe. They were very careful with us. And it was a guided tour. So they told us all about the cave.
Yeah. Have you been to many caves in the U.S.?
Yes. In
Really?
Florida. And I've not been to the one in Tennessee that you keep talking about.
Okay.
But...
And then there's that ginormous one. I want to say from memory it's Kentucky. I'm sure someone's going to let me know that that's not right, but I feel like it was Kentucky, the Mammoth Caves.
Yeah, I haven't been there yet.
I did that. That was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Too. So for all four of us, this was our first times doing a cave tour outside of the U.S. I had written that down in my notebook. So obviously we had talked about that. A couple of things about the cave. It's a natural environment of caves, rivers, mountains, ancient woodlands, waterfalls, and gorges. I remember when we got there, we were greeted by some sheep and we got to say hello, kind of like it was like right off the side of the parking lot. And this one didn't seem to be bothered by me and I got to say hello. So that kind of like made up for the other ones. But you go into the building, they did have several items for sale. And I wound up finding these beautiful kitchen towels that were just beautiful colors and they had sheep on them. And I bought one for each of the sisters and the moms in my family. So that was nice. And the prices were very reasonable. I felt like the tour was well organized. It ran on time. When you first leave the actual building, you walked through kind of a more wooded area. I remember all the greens, the trees and the leaves and all the stuff. And there were these beautiful, like, dark purple flowers things.
They were gorgeous.
They really, really were. And then you go into the cave and you do the little boat that you referenced at the very beginning, and it takes you to wherever you have to go to start the cave. But yes, the views were amazing. Definitely want to have great walking shoes, good soles. Always want to take a jacket or a sweater to caves because the temperature differences once you go down are definitely noticeable.
Yep.
I wouldn't say it's like Arctic, but a nice jacket or sweater, hoodie, whatever is good. So it was, I don't feel like it was very expensive. I think we had bought our tickets, we had prepaid online.
Yeah.
So I would recommend doing that. They were very reasonable, and it was an awesome tour. I would say if you're wondering if you should do it, do it.
Yes, absolutely. And I bought something from the store as well. I know a person that can only use goat milk soap on his skin because he breaks out and he has issues. But in the store, I found donkey milk soap.
Oh, wow.
Right?
Donkey milk soap.
Right. So, number one, I didn't know donkeys made milk.
Which, yeah.
Of course they do. But this fella is such a jackass that I thought
oh my gosh,
that this would be a much more appropriate soap for him.
Oh, wow.
So he got it for Christmas last year.
Did he like it?
I don't know. I wasn't there when he got it.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Again, that's another tidbit that I don't remember, and I don't remember you telling me about this guy.
I probably didn't tell you that.
You always keep those little secrets, but that's okay. I definitely want to call out one thing, and I did share some of these pictures as well for the blog. Do you remember when we walked out, we were done with the tour, we went out to the parking lot to get in the car, and I wound up noticing this very interesting, it looked like a sculpture, maybe kind of mimicking, not 100%, but the first thing that I thought of when I saw it was, oh, it looks kind of like the fins or whatever, or the bottom part of a mermaid, or it caught our attention, and I was like, hey, I'd like to walk over and see what that's about. It looks like it's just sticking out like a sore thumb. Come to find out, it was actually a marker for the National Cycle Network, also known as NCN. So, of course, I want to do a little bit of research because there was, obviously there were some numbers that were etched into the sculpture, and there were words and some descriptions. So the National Cycle Network is actually a UK-wide network of signed cycling, walking, and wheeling routes that total over 12,000 miles.
Oh, gosh.
I did search a couple of different sites online because I thought it was interesting, and several of these sites did this. So on one hand, miles, and then there's another description with kilometers. I didn't do that on purpose, and I tried to go back and make them the same, but I just wound up using the descriptions that I most commonly found. The real purpose of this network is to encourage getting outdoors. It connects many towns, cities, countrysides. It includes traffic-free paths, disused railways, minor roads, canal towpaths, I guess I can maybe think that it's some sort of path across water, but I'm not exactly sure what that is. And traffic calmed routes. The NCN is set to expand in Ireland to 3,500 kilometers, which from an Ireland perspective would connect over 200 villages, towns, and cities. So I did do a little bit of additional research. I didn't put it in the blog or whatever, but I thought it was just so interesting because there were all these stats out there about the carbon footprint that's been reduced and the number of miles and all the things that they've been projecting that have accumulated since the creation of this network. So
That's interesting. I didn't know any of that.
Yeah.
What I think I remember reading as far as hiking and walking and trekking and all of that, don't you have egress to people's yards? Like if you want to get from here to there, if you're respectful, you can open the gate, go through, walk the path, and then close the gate behind you.
That does sound vaguely familiar, but I don't feel
I know for sure
enough certainty
that they do that in Scotland,
Okay.
but I feel like they do that in Ireland as well. So
They might.
you can, I wonder if this is part of that as well. But
I don't
interesting.
know. That'd be cool to know, but It's definitely, if you're into that type of thing, which we're not big cyclers, although we have done bike rides in the past, I would definitely say we're big walkers.
Yep.
And we do enjoy getting out wherever we are. I know, Joy, you probably beat all of us. You're up early and you're very big on exploring wherever you are, and you get out and you see the things. The concept of it, I think, is really great and interesting. So I'm sure we have stuff like that here in smaller scale. After we left the caves, we went back to the house. I think that this was our only house of the entire trip that had what we would consider, and I'm using air quotes with my fingers, normal washer and dryer.
Yes. It was so good to see.
Yes. So you guys will remember some of our other stories, and we actually have a future story that we were up past 11 o'clock local time, and I just thought we were going to lose our marbles, but this one was just fantastic because it was a full-size washer, full-size dryer, super easy to work and get the job done. So that was amazing. I had some notes that we were hoping to go for dinner to this Greek place. I also had some notes that said it could be difficult to secure dinner in this area.
Right.
So I would say if you're going to Enniskillen, which I really hope you do if you go to Ireland, because it is just so great. This is a town that you will want to do your homework for dinner in particular and make your reservations.
Right, because it's not like America where it's walk up or walk in.
Yes.
You walk in and they say, "Oh, do you have a reservation?" And you say,
Right. Well, we at least did not do that. We called from the house and were, able to figure that out. However, I would say to our benefit, I don't even know how we found it, but we wound up thinking we were going to kind of have to, quote unquote, settle for this fourth or fifth option of the choice. And we're like, I don't even know, is pizza even going to be good over here? We weren't sure, but we wound up finding this pizza place, and we're like, we'll go eat pizza. How bad can it be? Well, we wound up going to Angie's New Haven Pizza. And the outside didn't look like a whole lot, but
it was in a strip mall.
Oh my goodness. From the moment I stepped inside, it was like a Wonderland-ish type. You can't say Alice in Wonderland, but it kind of reminded me of that with just all of the stuff.
Yes, it had some fantastic artwork.
Yes.
And it was everywhere. And you'd start looking at one thing and then you had to look at the other, and but I wanted to say
yes, bold red walls.
Yeah.
Cool light fixtures. Everything around you was interesting. And not only that, but the music. And I'm a big music person. Joy, I know you are too. I distinctly recall hearing some old Cure songs while we were there.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm looking, oh my gosh, I don't think I've heard this song in 8 million years. But the point was, it had its own vibe. So it was a shock and a surprise from that perspective.
Right.
Then you get to the menu, and it was like craft pizza. Mm-hmm. Amazing salads. I mean, it was definitely, I would not title this as, oh my gosh, if you have to go get something, go here. No. Oh my gosh, if you'd like to go to a super cool place and have some great pizza, go here.
Yes.
Because you're going to have cool stuff to look at, interesting music, and amazing food. And it's even food that you wouldn't expect. I can't remember what it was, and I didn't write it down. But Mikey wound up getting something kind of like we would know of here as like a poutine.
Oh, uh-huh.
And it was so interesting, and he loved it. It was super cool. I was very excited about Angie's and sent you a few pictures. And I'll say there's one picture that has one photograph on it. And we sat there because it was at the far wall from where we were sitting. Mm-hmm. We were debating, what is that picture? From one perspective, it looked like a paintbrush. But then when you really started looking, it was one of those, what do you call those? Like visual...
Double entendre. No, wait. That's not right.
No. But it's like one of those like visual perspective / puzzle type deals. Mm-hmm. So that was kind of cool. I threw that in there for people to enjoy. And then last night in Enniskillen, mm-hmm. we have to go back to the pubs.
Of course. And we have to go back to Granny Annie's.
We did, but at first we were going to go to one pub, and I don't want to name it because I don't want it to be like, oh, it's like a bad thing. No, it wasn't that.
It wasn't Granny Annie's, though.
No, but there were some other pubs locally. Well, we wound up deciding before, because we knew we were going to go round 2 at Granny Annie's, but we also wanted to get in at least one more. So we wound up deciding on Pat's at the last minute. And we went in. It was a cool vibe, very laid back. We had, I think, just a drink. And the Summer Olympics were being telecast. Mm-hmm. Swim meets.
Yes.
So there were a lot of college-age people that were there watching and having a great time and cheering. I believe that there was actually someone from Ireland.
Yes, there was.
Okay, so there was lots of local feels. That was really fun to experience. I remember Mikey meeting a guy his age and striking up a conversation and having a great time on his own, away mm-hmm. from us. So that was cool. Yeah, then we went back to Granny's for round 2. So anything that you remember special about round 2?
I don't think the same gentleman was playing the guitar again. So it was not the electric fun vibe as the first night, but it was still cool in there, and I'd still go back for a third round.
For sure. I remember the first night we had gone, we sat in the very front. Mm-hmm. But the second night... the building's kind of like a front section, a middle section, which is the actual bar, and then there's a back section. Mm-hmm. So we wound up choosing to go to the very back of the building, and it was funny because there were all these kind of themed booths, and the one I keep always going back to, well, there's actually 2, but there were like old-fashioned ironing boards hung from the ceiling upside down, and one of the booths was made to look like a closet. Mm-hmm. And it actually had like coats hanging up in it in the back. I mean, honestly, I just cannot say the people that put in the time and the planning for the decor of Granny Annie's down to the bathrooms.
Yes.
I mean, go look in the bathrooms. Even if you don't have to go. It was just so interesting, so fun. Our last night there, we wound up doing these silly staged pictures where like we were, torn up or whatever. We were actually not at all. It was just staged. But it was just a lot of fun, and it was just a great way to end our last night in Enniskillen.
Absolutely. Well, Mo, this has been fun going back down memory lane with you. I kind of have forgotten a lot of this stop for some reason. I remember Granny Annie's, but I kind of forgot a lot of the other stuff, so enjoy talking to you about it.
Yes, well, sometimes it's hard to remember. Thank God, again, I'm going to do a shameless plug. Keep a journal, even though it might not be sexy. There's so much power in the written word. It's sad to me that so many people have kind of lost touch with the power of the written word.
Yeah.
But the journal has been so helpful to me for this experience, but even just to kind of go back and review. So after night 6, we leave Northern Ireland and we start making our way around counterclockwise, more towards the bottom, and then back up around to Dublin. Next couple days, we're going to cover our 7 and 8 of the trip. We're going to visit Carrick-on-Shannon, a very brief stop in Limerick, Adair, and then Killarney.
Oh, I look forward to hearing all about that again.
Yeah, so until then, cheers.
Yes, don't forget to like, subscribe, or do whatever it is the kids are saying these days. And we will see you on the next episode. Thanks for listening, y'all. Thanks for tuning in to Hit the Road with Mo and Joy. If you have questions or topic suggestions, we would love to hear from you. You can connect with us through our website at hittheroadwithmoandjoy.com. On the website, you'll find all the things: socials, blogs, recommendations, inspiration, and things you might need to know for upcoming travel. And if you'd like to partner or advertise with us and connect with our amazing audience across the country, feel free to reach out to us at hittheroadwithmoandjoy.com/media. That's it from us this week, but don't forget, get out there and explore.